Hey everybody, I wanted to follow up really quickly about the signal leak, the story of the leak of the operation in Yemen, and make sure we're focusing on the right thing. I think the most important thing here is what it put at risk in the theater, right? In the area of Yemen and the coast. What we saw now that the texts are out is that the administration put into that signal chain both the time of the attack, but also the method, right? They talked about F-18s, flights. They talked about Tomahawk missiles coming from a ship. These are things that they put along with exact times that those things would begin. So I think it's important to understand that if someone had intercepted something off an unclassified phone, which happens all the time, and given it to the Houthis, to the Iranian sponsors, they would have had the time of the attack and the method of the attack and could try and thwart it, right? And the Houthis are an advanced terrorist group. They are able and have shot surface-to-air missiles at American planes, right? That's been an open press. So that F-18 flying in for this operation would now be vulnerable to a surface-to-air missile shot. They've also shot off ballistic missiles surface to ship. They've attempted to hit our ships just off of Yemen. So talking about Tomahawk missiles, those are shot from our ships. It gives the clear indication to me that if someone had intercepted this, God forbid, that our sailors, our airmen, our US forces in general involved in this operation would be at risk. I've been hearing a lot lately from spouses, from folks who have loved ones who are on these missions, right? It's now been reported, think of yourself, it's now been reported that an aircraft carrier group that was in Asia is being moved and extended so that they can go to Yemen. The families just got notice. 5,000 families are dealing with the fact that their loved one isn't coming home in April, but instead now in August. You already get that news, it's rocking your life. There were babies being born, there were all kinds of plans for the summer that aren't going to be had. And now you see that the operational safety of your loved one is being compromised, not just by anyone, not just by a random person, but by the Secretary of Defense and the senior most officials. And so for me, I understand that this is a back and forth in Washington, but we can't take our eye off the ball that by putting into unclassified channels the method of the attack and the time of the attack, you give your adversary way too much information that actually puts lives at risk. Now, I've said we need an investigation. It is important that we understand how this happened to make sure it doesn't happen again. And I am heartened to see that the National Security Advisor has accepted responsibility for this. I think what is really insult to injury is the Secretary of Defense is refusing to acknowledge this was a mistake. If any soldier, any Marine, any CIA officer had put this same information onto an unclassified text chain, we'd be removed from our job immediately, we'd be put on admin leave, and our case would probably, right after being fired, we'd be referred to the Department of Justice. No matter what, we need a full independent investigation by the Senate Armed Services Committee. And then for Mr. Hegseth, who understands better than most that leadership climate in the military is set at the top, should own his own words, take responsibility for his actions, and provide accountability on him and his team. It's exactly what the military is trained to do, accountability and responsibility. Man up, own it, apologize, and talk about the lessons you've learned so you're not going to repeat this, and communicate that to the force. If you can't do that, get out of the way, you're a distraction, resign, or Trump should fire him.